Alright guys, welcome back. Maybe someone can tell me. I don't remember where I got this playmat or how. It probably came in a collection purchase. But where is this from? What set did it come from? Let me know. I'm sure someone knows. And also, as like a small pet peeve, these boxes don't fit 2 cards wide. It's so close, but they don't quite do it, which is very sadness. So I'm not sorting these yet until all the openings are done, just for efficiency's sake. It doesn't really particularly make sense for me to stab. It doesn't really make sense for me to sort one box, and I'm going to open all 6 of these, and I can just do it all at once. So, the last video I was kind of talking about like my potential EV, right? The box, I'm gonna sip something that's totally water, guys. I just add a drop of yellow food coloring to give it some proper color. I was kind of talking about the theoretical EV on the set, right? It's one box will make me about $150 to $200 once everything is sold and all the commons are moved, you know, blah 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 blah. It's just a waiting game. Nice. The interesting thing with that, right? The interesting thing is going to be watching how this set does after. One of the smartest things I figured out very quickly when listing, and it was actually recommended to me by Saint, and like subconsciously I was like, I'm definitely not gonna, that's a good rare. I'm definitely not going to do this, and I obviously have hundreds and hundreds of some of these commons. What I could do if I was lazy is I could list all 195 whatever that I have, and just when they sell, they sell. And it's not really optimal. And your logic is, oh, well, what if someone buys, you know, 100 copies of the Once Upon a Time, this is a big hit. What if someone buys all 100 copies though, and you can just ship it all at once? Well, that's fair. However, the problem is shipping with weight. Shipping with weight becomes exponentially more expensive, right? So let's say I ship 100 commons to one person, right? And this is a TCG player sale. That sale will be for a whopping, like, I don't know, let's go crazy, and we'll say, ooh, nice, it's a good flow hit. We'll say, you know, 100 commons at 5 cents a piece, which is probably going to be pretty close to the average, right? The thing that they don't tell you is that postage is by the ounce. When it's by the ounce, that means, you know, a single envelope costs 67 cents or 66 cents, whatever it is now, 69, I don't know, to ship. And that one envelope costs me, oh, foil land, nice, you know, a penny or 2 or 3, depending on how many I'm buying at the time, plus my penny sleeve, which cost me a little bit less than a penny, plus my top loaders / semi-rigid that I either worked for / picked up at some 5 to 7 cents price. And, you know, I net like about 20 to 50 cents a common, depending. So, and if I do that 100 times, that makes me, you know, roughly $50 is my net, theoretically. If I had just sold all 100 of those at about 5 cents a piece, I don't make back the extra money that I make from the stamp costs because I wholesale my stamps for cheaper. So that's part of where that money comes from. I'm adding profit margin by doing that. And, you know, my $5 quickly turns into a lot less. It is roughly 750 magic cards for £1, and it cost me 66 cents an ounce to ship. The rough math on 100 cards is 1/7, which, what is that, like? It should be like 3 ounces, almost, something like that, 2.5 ounces. I gotta do the packaging goes into it and the materials. I have to put some extra extra top loaders in there. I need to put it into a larger bag. I can't just do an envelope. I have to use a little bubble mailer, which costs me an extra 40 cents. So now my $5 turns into, you know, about 3.5 once TCG Player takes their slice of the pie. And then from that 3.5, I now net about $3 after my packing costs for the bubble mailer, because I'm going to have to use a bubble mailer. I can't ship it out in an envelope. And then now my postage, which will be about about $2.50, something like that. Maybe $2 if I'm lucky, but we'll call it $2. And, you know, all of a sudden, my $5 is about $1. Or, if I had sold 100 orders, making 25 to 50 cents a piece for those same commons, because again, you know, part of my profit is built into the fact that I'm getting postage so cheap. Canvas is a huge hit. And that adds up. So, you know, you're talking the difference of $1 to $20 to $50 upwards, depending on how many orders you do like that. Hey, Rankle Master of Pranks. Bognati, I've sold out of this several times. So, would it be faster for me to do that? Yes. But I also make significantly less money doing that. And that absolutely slays your profit margins, which you don't want to do. You want to maximize your profit. And that's what all this comes down to, right? Is I don't want to be lazy with how I'm doing things. I want to be efficient. I want to be fast. It takes me less than a minute to pack an order, and that is from when I pull the cards to getting them sorted to moving them over into the desk here, get everything packaged, sorted, packed up in an envelope, lick the envelope, stick a stamp on it, and throw it in the bin. Another $1 card for Kenrith's. Which means I can do 60 to 70 of those an hour like that. And, you know, even at bulk, you know, I'm still talking $20 to $50 an hour. And that's like really, really suboptimal. Like, I've hit quite literally the worst of the worst bulk possible. I'm not selling a single land. I'm not selling a single 50-cent common or uncommon. Like, I am averaging 5-cent cards, which I definitely don't do. Like I said, it's closer to $90 an hour with a system fully optimized. So I actually don't want big orders because they're expensive. They take a lot of time to pull. They're very inefficient. And that's like, but you kind of got to like eat it once in a while on those orders just because like, you don't want to be the guy that cancels orders on people. Like you gotta honor the sales on TCG Player to keep your rep up. Like there's a lot of little intricate things that go into that whole process of listing and moving all this bulk. And you know, as I pass 2,000 plus sales now, I think the last time I looked, I was like 1,900, but that was before like 200 sales in the past like week from heavy hitters. You know, your rep climbs, your volume climbs, more people order through you, you get on TCG Player Direct, and they help handle a lot of your volume. So, you know, these cards, they move for really, really good money. And it's just a time game. And any time that someone sits there and tells you, oh, it'd be so much faster to do it this way, it might be, but is it worth cutting your profit from, you know, at a minimum of $20 to $50 an hour to $1 an hour or $1 per order? Oh, well, but what if you filled, you know, 50 big orders like that? Well, I still have to go to the boxes. I still got to pull the cards. I still got to pack the orders because it's an awkward sized envelope. I can't just stick a stamp on it. Embercleave is nice. There's so many extra things that take all this extra time, and you know, that time is what kills you. So yeah, you're moving way more cards, but like also you're really not making more money, you're actually losing money. So that really, like, it really does come down to just being patient, guys. Like, don't be afraid to just work, be patient, grind away at it. I'm messaging Saint while I'm doing this video. I'm doing deals with a guy up way north in Zealand. Like, I'm talking to a consignor that I have at the same time. You know, I have like umpteen things going on all at once, and it's really hard to balance it all. I'm not gonna lie. Crashing Drawbridge, this is already $1 in commons. You know, it's hard to balance it all, guys. But it's, at the end of the day, the effort and time will always pay off if you just put it in. Ooh, nice. And, you know, there should be one more mythic, I think, actually. Gingerbread Cabin, it's another 25, 30 cents. You know, and people have lost sight of that in the past years, right? Like the quick money came from COVID. There we go, another Oko, nice. The quick money was here with COVID, and everything was 69 to a million, and you buy it, and then the next day it's 4 times your tendies, and pretty soon you're buying out a Chick-fil-A, and they have no chicken left, and Popeyes sells out of their sandwiches, and the world's ending, and oh my god, like that is not normal. Like, here we go, another land. This sells consistently, by the way, for like a quarter to 50 cents profit. Like, that card just constantly moves. It's a patience game, guys. Like, if you take the time and the effort to really work for it and get there, you will always succeed in the end. I had an argument with a friend one time, and I was like, dude, if I had to go back and do it all over, and I wanted to do the laziest possible approach to life, for 10 years after I graduated high school, I could work 2 minimum wage jobs, 80 hours a week. I could take one of my incomes and put every single penny of it into dividend stocks that pay anywhere from 3% a month upwards of 10% a month with a little higher risk. And I could do that for 10 years. And after 10 years, I could go back down and work part-time because my dividends would be making me so much money just from raw gains over time. I basically would be getting a paycheck every month for my dividends. And I'd be living frugally that entire 10 years off of half of my income, which means I literally could quit my job at 28 years old, making just enough money to live by and skate by with dividends, and I'd be okay. I'd be 28 years old, and I'd be okay. I'd be borderline paycheck to paycheck probably, but your dividends go up over time, your stock price goes up over time. I'd be very, very comfortable. And my buddy looked at me and he's like, well, that wouldn't work that way. And I'm like, it absolutely would. Because if you are cheap, you live frugally, you live off half your income, you get a beater car, or you ride a bike to work, you make sacrifices to get there, and you'd be okay. But every single year, let's say you only make $1,800 a month from your minimum wage job, like working 160 hours a month, $10 an hour. It's $1,600. $10 an hour is pretty low now. It's probably closer to 15 now with the way places are hiring and paying. You're still looking at 160 hours a month, 40 hours a week, times $15 an hour is what? 1,500, 2,250, almost $2,500 a month. Take out taxes and whatever else. So you take home $2,000 a month from each of your jobs. You put $2,000 a month into just dividend stocks. You do not take any money out. You just keep reinvesting your dividends. After 10 years, just your raw contributions would be $240,000. That's crazy. And that's assuming your stock goes up by zero, you get zero dividends reinvested. You can do the math breakdown, but $250,000 in dividend stocks will net you a couple $1,000s a month in dividends, like today. Imagine what it does over 10 years of growth with everything else added in. And in 10 years, you could kind of just stop and just chill. You could go work 20 hours a week just so you have insurance, or 30 or whatever you need to have insurance and stuff, and you'd be good. And you just have supplemental income at that point. But the problem is people are not patient. They want the money now. They want this tendy scheme, and they don't want to take the time to sort this whole stack of commons, this whole stack of uncommons, and they don't want to take the time to sell and list every single one of these cards and monetize the whole process. And they don't want to make the sacrifices to reinvest what they opened and what they put into that money and keep it in there and keep growing it. And that's what makes the difference between people that spend every day of their life working and people that work to retire. I'm working to retire before I turn 40. That is my goal. By all metrics, I am on track to be extremely comfortable when I'm 65. I have my day job. I keep doing this. I'm going to be very comfortable when I'm 65. I'm not worried about when I'm 65. What I'm worried about is when I turn 40 to 65. I want those 25 years to be enjoyable with my kids, with my wife. There's a lot of stuff that I need to do to prep for that and make sure I'm good to go. And all of these cards, as I buy more of them and I build more of them and I buy more of them and I build more of them and I buy more and more and more and more and more, this system just grows and pays more money and pays more money and pays more money, and I keep reinvesting it like dividends. So I'm taking a different approach than the lazy approach, which would be just buy dividend stocks and reinvest them. But I'm still basically creating dividends with all my commons and my uncommons and my rares, these basic lands, these tokens, like all this stuff adds up. But yeah, guys, it's a patience thing. Just be patient, keep grinding, never stop working, and that's how you quad up every year. That's how you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. When I started this, I was buying $300-$400 collections. I made friends, I made connections, I started buying $1,000 collections. Then I started buying $2,000 collections. I started buying $5,000 collections. Then I started merging and buying joint collections in the mid five-figure range, $40,000, $50,000. Now I individually buy $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 collections. I don't buy a ton of them because I have to monetize stuff, but I buy them. I'm buying a $4,000 or $5,000 lot right now, and I'm not even blinking. It's the name of the game. Patience will always win out in the end. So don't be afraid to work, guys. Don't be afraid to grind. Stay with me here. Let's get through the year. 2024 starting off good. We had some good deals. We're just being patient. We're making and deploying our money where it needs to go. Heavy hitters has absolutely killed it. It's been bananas. And yeah, guys, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up for there and say goodbye for now. And I think we have some Ultimate Masters next to open, so we'll pop that out in the queue next and get that going, and that'll be after this with some heavy hitters mixed in here, and we'll keep having a good old right time of it. Who knows? Maybe we'll move to 4 videos a week. Woo! Depending on how many of these I build up over time, but we'll see. All right, guys, I'll talk to you guys later, and we'll have a good time. Bye.